Enzo Maresca has been appointed as the Chelsea new head coach. What is your thought on that?
I'll let you start, Peter, as a Chelsea fan yourself.
I mean, it's underwhelming compared to what we're used to. We're under the old regime when we were champions. We had elite mentality. We're always looking for the best managers. We look at who's managing Real Madrid, who's managing Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. We're looking at the creme de la creme of managers. And now, we're looking in Poundland, and we used to shop in Harrods now, and we've ended up with Enzo. And good luck to him, but I don't think it will go well.
Yeah, it's an experience as well with Enzo, as he's only managed Parma and Leicester in his whole tenure as a real manager. That's it. Yeah, I guess he's the type of Pep Guardiola. All of them, yes, you can say they've all come success. Xavi Alonso, Arteta, but it's about time. And I think the time as football has evolved, I think a club like Chelsea now, they can't go and get, as Pete said, the creme de la creme of managers because they're not out there, they're not available. Ancelotti is at Real Madrid. There's only a few select managers that are good enough to manage a club like Chelsea, and some of them don't even want the job. So I think Maresca was an easy appointment for them. They know they could use him as a puppet. I think that's why they got him in the end.
So what do you think is the reason why they don't want a job?
I think it's because as Chelsea now, it's not just Chelsea, Man United do it as well. They're run like a circus. They want a guy in that can just listen to the board and go, right, we're gonna sign this player, you're gonna listen to us, that's it, that's your job. Back in the day you had managers like Alex Ferguson, Wenger. They wouldn't listen to what the board said, they'd get the players they want in and build their team. I think Maresca isn't going to build his team. Chelsea are going to build their team around Maresca, and Maresca's job basically is to go, right, with the players we get you in, you do all of the work, you do the coaching, but we're the manager, the board's the manager. We're going to do everything else. We're going to make the signings. We're going to make the payments. And you're just a puppet.
That's what they said. They said they're not looking for a manager, but a head coach.
Yeah, a head coach, yes.
So what's the reason behind that?
They just want a yes man. They just want a yes man. They want someone who's not a manager. They want a first team coach.
Yeah.
So they don't want him to have a say who's coming in, who's going out. And to be honest, like I've been saying since Potter, since Lampard, since Poch, he's not even going to pick the first team. These three managers, they didn't pick the first team. We saw it with Potter when he said, I'm not the problem here. And I mentioned it to my friends on social media. I mentioned it that the manager at Chelsea, or whoever's the manager, they're not picking the team. The directors are picking the team.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen again and again and again. And that's why they wanted him, because he's young, he's not experienced, and you can influence him. And even at his time at Leicester, he said, and you can find the quotes online, he said, just leave me to do coaching. I don't want anything to do with players coming in or out. That's the exact reason they hired him.
He's been a manager for a year and a half. He has no experience in the Premier League. Do you think this might have an impact on his future?
I think with the young team they have, maybe. But I think on Maresca's future, if he flops at Chelsea, he's not going to get another big job. That's just a like.
Do you think it's a little bit too soon for him?
Yeah, it's way too early. Half a season at Parma, a full season at Leicester. Let's not forget, nearly bottled the league title last season as well to Ipswich. I was checking the championship table from last season. In the top 6, he lost 11 games. Ipswich lost more, and Leeds United lost less. Ipswich lost less as well. So he doesn't get many draws. If not winning, he's losing a lot of games. So that's factors into experience. The team they had last season, yes, they won the league with 98 points, but if you were to sit there in January and go, right, they're going to have a massive drop-off from January all until May, everyone's going, you're lying. He's got under control. They nearly lost the league title to Ipswich, who were in League One the season before that. So
he worked with Pep Guardiola in the past. Do you think one of the reasons they give him a job is because he worked with Pep?
Yeah, 100%. And he looks like Pep. He's bold as well, so they hired him for that.
Bold beard.
So they came for
They just wanted like I said, Poundland Pep is Harrods, right? And they see him and they say, that's the Poundland Pep.
Yeah.
Let's get him in. He's worked with Pep. I think he won the PL2 champions as a assistant.
As a City assistant coach.
So that's the reason they wanted him, because of his links to Pep.
But remember, when Arteta had a job at Arsenal, he had no experience in the Premier League, right?
True,
but I think he's doing well, right?
He's doing really well. But I think the difference with Arteta is that he was at City a lot longer than what Maresca was. So you know, Arteta wasn't going into PL2 developing younger players. He was Pep's assistant. He was the assistant manager. That's what City did. They got Pep in to be the manager. Arteta was the assistant manager. So that's why I think he's done so well, because he was able to learn off Pep. I think with Maresca, he was just assistant coach. Yes, labelled assistant manager, but because he wasn't there as long as Arteta was, it makes his job a lot harder now. He does fail at Chelsea to get a big job, whereas Arteta, say if next season Arsenal don't win the league, everyone's going, well, when are they going to win the league? Is Arteta going to get sacked? What's going to happen with Arteta? That's because he's had time. But with Maresca, he hasn't had a lot of time at City. He went to Parma to manage, came back to City to do PL2, then went to Leicester, nearly lost the league, and ultimately Chelsea looked at that and go, as Pete said, pound on Pep Guardiola, let's get a man in that we can control, be our puppet, and let's move on with it.
He is being given 5 years deal. What do you think of the length of his contract?
If he sees out 5 years, I'll get a Chelsea tattoo on my head here. He will never see out 5 years. The guy will be sacked within 2 years, probably one. It's impossible that he sees 5 years. I think in the last 50 years, I don't think Chelsea have had one manager that's hit a 5-year tenure in one stretch. So for him to do it, you need a miracle. You need Jesus, Allah, God, Buddha, everyone. It's not going to happen.
But don't you think Chelsea give him a 5-year deal because it's a project?
No, that's what people think. No, that's what people think. That's what they're claiming, project, right? They gave him a 5-year deal because they gave Pochettino 2 years and they said it was a project. They gave Graham Potter 5 years. They're still paying him. No one's found him. He's somewhere in the Clown Lake Asylum over here, locked up with his hands flipping like this in a straitjacket. He's locked up. No one can find Graham Potter. He's still getting paid 12.5 million a year. So they only gave this guy 5 years because they knew the fans started to realise what sort of project is 2 years long. Everyone said that when Pochettino was hired.
Yep.
And they've already backtracked their word. They've sacked Potter. They've sacked Poch. They've made 2 errors signing them anyway. But there is no project. That's what they want us to think, and it's rubbish.
Some Leicester fan said he doesn't listen. He could have easily got sacked before last Christmas. Do you think he'll get sacked before Christmas?
No, he'll have the season, I think. Because I think Chelsea have gone past that now. They've taken too many risks recently to then sack a young manager at Christmas and to get someone else in. There is no one else to get in. There really isn't. The only person that Chelsea could get in at Christmas is Ten Hag, realistically. And let's be honest, that's a laughing stock. But his CV speaks for itself. He wins trophies everywhere he goes.
No, that's true.
But the thing is with Ten Hag, he doesn't want to be run like a puppet. So if they sack Maresca before Christmas or even at Christmas and Ten Hag's at the job, he's the only manager they can go get, and he isn't going to take that job. So they have to have her out the whole season. They have to have her out the whole season, wait and see how the season goes, and either continue with the so-called project or get rid of him and try to do another thing where they go, it's another project, and get another manager in.
Let's talk a little bit about his style of playing. Do you think it can be reproduced in the same with Chelsea?
It can. I think it can. Everyone says it's similar to like Pep Guardiola, a lot of possession-based, and a lot of Leicester fans.
But do you think he has enough? He has the players to do that. The resources to do that.
No, and that's we're already seeing today on social media that here they're saying they want to keep Sanchez the goalkeeper, and Maresca says you can find the videos. He's talking his tactics. Says he likes the goalkeeper to play like a centre back.
Yeah.
Sanchez is terrible at passing. That's why he was Brighton's third choice. Brighton play passing football, and they had him as their third choice keeper because he wasn't able to pass. And now the PR, they're saying Maresca wants to keep him because they want him to play as an inverted goalkeeper, is what they're saying. So he hasn't got the resources to play the style he wants. Will he try? Yes. Will it succeed? I don't think so. We had Maurizio Sarri back in 2018-19, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the crowd were chanting F Sarri ball. I'm not going to say the word, but because at Stamford Bridge we don't like that. It's boring. It's boring. It's just sideways, backwards, sideways. We haven't got patience. We've had 2 of our worst years we've had ever in the last, in our history, as long as I've been alive. And now we want another year of patience and trying to implement a style. It's just going backwards with the club. We had Pochettino try to do his style. Graham Potter tried to do his style. Lampard couldn't do anything.
Tried to do it,
So I don't think it will work, unfortunately, for him.
So what is your expectation on him? What do you expect from him?
I see it. I'm different. As a Chelsea fan, my standards are still right there where they should be. What Abramovich set, the GOAT owner, he set the standards. we should be competing for the title. We should be competing for every trophy that we're taking part in. If we're going to play the Conference League, we have to win that as a bare minimum. We have to win it.
Yeah.
There's nothing less is acceptable. Premier League, we have to get top 4 as a bare minimum. And I want a cup run in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. We've got a large squad.
I wouldn't say top 4. Not if it's a different manager, maybe with more experience. But with Maresca, I wouldn't say top 4. Top 6, Europa League's the minimum. I just think if you get top 4, that's a good result for Chelsea.
Top 4. Do you think he can make a top 4 this season?
No.
His first season.
No.
I don't think we will, but that's where my standards are. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
as Chelsea fans, you know, they've grown up, some of them, to have seen the Abramovich era, where they were winning Premier League titles, winning trophies every single season, and they will say top 4 is the bare minimum because that's Chelsea as a football club. As I say, I'm not a Chelsea fan, you know, I'm a Fulham fan, but if you take the Fulham fan out of it, as a football fan, I'm looking at it and going, right, the bare minimum Chelsea should be aiming for now is the Europa League, maybe 5th, maybe trying to get that. If England do well in the Champions League, maybe getting that 5th spot to get in the Champions League. To get top 4 is a high push because Villa will only improve. I think Arsenal will still be there. I think depending on what Man United do in the summer, they'll improve. Tottenham might improve as well. There's a lot of teams that might improve there. So I think top 6 is the bare minimum. Conference League, they have to win that. And if they don't win that Conference League title,
straight away, everyone.
Everyone has to go.
Every player, every coach, every director especially, they're both guilty. They're the ones who signed this jellyfish. They're the ones who was in charge of Pochettino. They took 3 months to find Pochettino, and then they sacked him 12 months later.
Yeah.
So I suspect the same thing will happen here.
I agree.
Do you expect a drastic change from him?
No.
No, not in performance.
You can't. I think with this team, it's this team as a young team, you have to have a coach that has at least stayed there 3-4 years. They haven't had that, Chelsea, in my lifetime ever. So you got a young team. If you're gonna have a young team, you have to build with a manager that's young and keep him there for as long as possible. But I think what, as Pete says, Clown League are doing, they're trying to do that and then it's failing. So they go, right, we can't do it. It makes us look bad. So let's sack that manager and do it again. And it will never ever work for them, unfortunately.
How long do you think he will last for?
After the season, I think after the season he goes.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think 1 season, 1.5 max maybe.
Yeah.
But that was if we do really well, then he'll get 1 season and a half. Otherwise, I think 1 season.
After the season is done.
So if you have any advice to give to him, what would you say to him?
To Maresca himself?
Yes.
Don't listen to the clowns. Don't listen to the directors. Play the team you want to play. Do not let them dictate to you. They've done it to the previous managers. They're just going to throw you under the bus the first chance they get. Do not listen to them. Play your style, not theirs. Play the players you want to play, not theirs. Do not listen to them. You are a coach. Be your own man. Stand up for yourself and grow a backbone.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. 100%. Play your way. Get the players you want to get in. Build your team and be a success at Chelsea Football Club.
I know it's still a little bit earlier because he has no experience at the Premiership level. But if you have to compare him to Poch, what would you say?
I think Poch has achieved more in the game. Poch has a way longer managerial career. He's not very successful either, to be fair, but at least in France he won some trophies.
I don't think there is a comparison. It's
different level. It's completely different level.
He's still a bit too early. Yes, he won the championship, but that is let's be honest. Maybe apart from the Premier League, that's the hardest league to win in the world, the championship, and he did it. So fair play to him, but him and Poch aren't on the same level. It's not even close.
So you still believe it was a mistake to sack Poch?
I think so. I think getting into Europe with the team they had, and ultimately, yes, when I spoke to Chelsea fans, but it took him way too long to play the way he wanted. But ultimately, you have to give him credit because the way he wanted to play, he stuck by it, and it got him the result he wanted in the end, which was European football. And effectively, he got sacked because he wasn't willing to do the fiddle, the puppet thing. So that's why they said, you know what, Poch, get rid of you. We're going to get someone that can play the puppet. But he should have had more time for me anyway.
So do you think Enzo may have a list of players that he wants to present to the board?
He'll have a list. Whether they'll listen to him, I don't think they will. I think the Chelsea board now, with the way they run, they want to get their players in and their players only. And we've seen that with the players they got in. Robert Sanchez was their player, it failed. That's why no one wants him anymore. So, yeah, I saw today they're looking at Fulham striker Rodrigo Muniz, and looking at how Leicester played last season, there is no way that Maresca wants Muniz because he's completely different to what they had last season. They had Jamie Vardy and Patterson Daka. They're not target men. They don't hold up the ball. They get in behind and drift out wide. Nunez doesn't do that. So that
But Jackson is still there, right?
Jackson's still there, but that's a board signing. So maybe he could work with Maresca, but at the same time, it's whether or not Maresca can get the best out of Jackson, and is whether Jackson can find the back of the net. That's the only issue with Jackson. If he can find the back of the net, he's a perfect man for Maresca. If he can't, I think they might be screwed and then get another striker.
I don't think he's going to get. I think he'll have a list of an idea of who he wants, and I don't think he's going to get them. I think the directors are going to say no. This isn't what you signed. This is what you're getting. Make it work. Same thing they done to Poch. Same thing they done to Potter. They just gave them the tools and said, you have to work with this. We don't care. This is what you're getting. We spent a lot of money. There's long contracts. Make it work. And it's not.
But it might be a little bit difficult for him to to meet his target if he can't have what he wants.
But that's what he signed up for. He knows he's walking into that. So
and Poch,
so do you think that could be part of his contract?
Yeah, he knows that. Even if you're not a Chelsea fan, you know whatever manager they get next after Maresca is going to be another puppet.
Yeah.
They're going to wait to get another young manager in. They're going to ruin that career. He's going to leave, not get another job. He's still going to be sitting there, not having another job. Going, you know what? I'm getting paid 10.5 million a year by Chelsea, and I'm sitting there watching Sky Sports.
Yeah, just like
that's it.
Graham Potter
that's it. He knows exactly what his job is, to be a puppet of Topoli and Clowleg. That's it. That's what they want to do.
Talking a little bit about Muniz, do you think it's a right move by Chelsea? Because Jackson is still there. Jackson is getting better. He's scoring goals. He's playing well.
I don't know. I think
I think he's right now is a little bit better than Muniz, right?
Who, Jackson?
Jackson.
I'll disagree. As a Fulham fan, I'm always going to say Muniz is better because I love that guy. But no, I think for both of them, it's not.
The way Jackson finished the season, I think he.
Yeah, true. But Jackson cost at the same time. How much did he cost? 45 million, something like 30 million. Muniz cost us 8 million. So he went on loan to the Championship, flopped at Middlesbrough, came back and scored 10 goals in the Premier League. I think that's a better achievement to someone costing 30, 35 million, scoring 15 goals in the league, in my opinion. But back to your question, I think for both of them, it's not the right move. I think for Muniz, if he has another season at Fulham and has another success,
he needs another season.
If he has another season and performs, then he can go, right, let's try to go to another team, like a bigger club. With Jackson, I think if you get another striker in, it's going to make him so disinconfident in himself. He's going to go, well, what can I do to get back into this team? Say if they get a striker like Muniz, who can score goals in the Premier League. Well, we think he can because he did it last season. If he then performs at Chelsea, say if they do get him, that is, Jackson's going to be sitting there like, well, I was a £30 million man and now I'm on the bench. I don't want this. I don't want to do this. He'll try to leave, but his goal scoring record, no one might even want him. So it's a 50-50. I think it's about time for both of them.
Yes, but I think maybe the right move should probably be to keep Jackson and see what he can do before Christmas and take it from there. Let's wish him well and see what he does before Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every Chelsea fan, we will back the gaffer. We will support the manager because it's not his fault. Yeah. He's just there to do a job. If they paid me his wages, I'd go and do it. You know what I mean? Anyone on the street would go and do it. So it's not the manager's fault, but stand up for yourself. Don't be a jellyfish. Grow a backbone and play the way you want to play and be one with the fans. Take on the fans. Embrace us and we will embrace you and we'll support you. Poch didn't do it. Potter didn't do it. That's what they missed out. If you look at Conte, Jose, Ancelotti, Tuchel, we love them because they loved us. So show love to the fans and we'll show love back to you and you have a chance of succeeding. And at the worst, we'll at least support you right to the very end. So support the fans, Maresca, and we'll support you.
Thank you so much for your time. And like I said, let's wish him all the best.
Best of luck.
Best of luck, Maresca.